Did that trailer just reveal the biggest Dutton Ranch twist yet? Because if you looked closely, season May 2nd already be telling us that the war for the ranch is about to get far more dangerous than anything we saw before. The first footage does not feel like a simple return to the ranch. It feels like a warning. The kind of warning that says the Dutton family is about to be pulled into something bigger, darker, and much harder to control. And the most shocking part is not just the tension around the land, or the pressure building inside the family. It is the strong hint that the Marshals crossover could be the event that changes the whole story. If that happens, then season 2 will not just be about protecting the ranch anymore. It could become a fight for survival, a fight against the law, and maybe even a fight against secrets the family thought were buried for good. So in this video, we are breaking down everything the first look may be telling us, starting with the biggest question of all: what kind of storm is really heading toward Dutton Ranch in season 2? When we talk about Dutton Ranch season 2, the first thing we need to understand is that this story is not starting from peace. It is not starting from a happy ending, and it is definitely not starting from a place where the family can relax. Season 1 left behind too many cracks, too many enemies, and too many personal wounds for that to happen. Even before the trailer gives us new clues, the ending of the first season already told us that the ranch was standing on weak ground. On the outside, the Duttons were still fighting to protect their land, their name, and their power. But on the inside, there were already signs that the family itself was carrying pressure that could explode at any moment. That matters because when a new season begins with a family under stress, every small problem becomes more dangerous. Every argument means more. Every secret becomes heavier. And every outsider who walks into the STO has a better chance of breaking things apart. That is why the first look at season 2 feels so important. It does not feel like the show is trying to reset and start fresh. It feels like it is picking up the weight of everything that was left unfinished and pushing it even further. The mood of the trailer is the first clue. There is a darker energy in the way the shots are framed, in the way the characters look at each other, and in the way the ranch itself is shown. Instead of feeling like a home that is being defended, the ranch almost feels like a place under pressure from every direction. It feels watched. It feels tense. It feels like the calm that existed before is gone. That kind of tone usually means one thing in a drama like this: the story is not going to get smaller in season 2. It is going to get bigger, and the cost of every decision is going to rise with it. One of the smartest things a trailer can do is make the audience feel that danger before it explains it. And that is exactly what this first look seems to be doing. It is not giving away every plot point. It is not handing us all the answers. Instead, it is building a feeling. A feeling that something is closing in on the Duttons. A feeling that the family may be entering a fight they are not fully prepared for. And a feeling that some of the people standing inside the ranch may not be on the same side for much longer. That is why the first section of this breakdown really comes down to one core idea. Season 2 looks like it is building a pressure cooker story, where family tension, land battles, and outside forces are all being pushed together until something finally breaks. To understand why that matters, think about what the ranch represents in this world. It is not just land. It is not just a business. It is not just a family home. The ranch is power, history, loyalty, and identity all rolled into one place. For the Duttons, losing the ranch would mean losing much more than property. It would mean losing control of the story they tell about themselves. It would mean losing the thing that keeps the family tied together, even when they are fighting. That is why every threat against the ranch feels personal, and why the first season was built around the idea of protection at all costs. But the problem now is that protecting something can slowly change the people doing the protecting. It can make them harder. It can make them colder. It can push them into choices they never thought they would make. And if Season 2 is really leaning into that idea, then we may be about to watch a version of the Dutton family that is more desperate, more divided, and more dangerous than before. The trailer's energy supports that reading. Even without hearing every full line of dialogue, the visual mood tells us that these characters are carrying stress. Faces look tired. Conversations feel heavy. Silence feels meaningful. In a show like this, silence is never just silence. It is usually where fear, anger, guilt, or doubt starts to grow. And when a trailer keeps showing that kind of emotional weight, it is usually pointing toward conflict that is not just physical but deeply personal. In other words, the real battle of season May 2nd not only be about who wants the ranch from the outside. It may also be about whether the people inside the ranch can still trust each other enough to hold the line. That is what makes the opening direction of this season so strong. It creates tension on two levels at the same time. On one level, we have the external fight, land pressure, possible legal trouble, dangerous outsiders, and now the possible Marshals connection hanging over the story. On the other level, we have the internal fight, family loyalty, personal fear, emotional damage, and the possibility that one bad decision could split people apart. When those two levels work together, the result is a season that feels intense from start to finish. The audience is not just wondering whether the ranch can survive. They are wondering whether the family itself can survive what is coming. And this is where the title of the video starts to matter even more. First Look is not just about showing footage. It is about asking what that footage is really preparing us for. If the trailer wanted to tell us that Season 2 would simply continue the same kind of story, it could have leaned into wide ranch shots, family pride, and the usual promise of another battle for land. But instead, the tone suggests something more unstable. Something less certain. Something that feels like the old rules may not work anymore. That is why the Marshals crossover idea is such a huge deal, even at this early stage. The moment law enforcement becomes part of the story in a serious way, the fight changes. It is no longer only about power plays behind closed doors or enemies trying to take land through pressure and threats. It becomes a story where the family could be forced to answer for things they have hidden, things they have done, or things they thought would never come back to them. That possibility changes the emotional meaning of every trailer moment. A worried look is no longer just stress. It could be fear of exposure. A tense conversation is no longer just another family argument. It could be about what happens if someone talks too much, trusts the wrong person, or refuses to stay loyal. A shot of the ranch from far away is no longer just a pretty image. It can feel like a reminder that this whole world the Duttons built is now sitting in the crosshairs. And that is why this first section of the script matters so much. Before we can break down every clue, every scene, and every crossover theory, we need to understand the foundation the trailer is building. And that foundation is simple. Season 2 looks like a story about pressure, consequences, and a family running out of safe places to hide. There is also another reason the trailer's darker tone stands out. In many family